right. Cut the skin out, precept you like a knife. Don't wanna die in these streets, I was blind, now I see.
Where'd you go?
The physicians of righteousness. Don't wanna die in these streets, I was blind, now I see.
Where'd you go?
The physicians of righteousness.
Let's go right here, though. We're going to start with Matthew chapter 13 and verse 44. I watched a video on this last couple of days. Bishop Nathaniel did it. I think it was called like the parable of something. Hold on. The parable of hidden treasure or something like that. It's a pretty good little video. It might have been about 20, 30 minutes. So I kind of watched some of the stuff that he went through and kind of added a little bit of myself into it and kind of how we roll here in San Diego. It's a pretty good little video. What I say? Matthew 13 and 44.
The book of Matthew, chapter 13 and verse 44.
Uh-huh.
Again, the kingdom of heaven is like unto treasure hid in a field, the which when a man hath found, he hideth, and for joy thereof goeth and selleth all that he hath, and buyeth that field.
So, you know, the way the bishop was explaining, like, say you out searching for property, right? You're out looking for a house, you're looking for some land, right? And you see these lands out there for sale. You see this one land, it's all beautiful, got a green, lush field, right? And then you see this one dusty piece of property over there, right? And you walking around, you looking at the property, and then you see this rock, and you tip the rock up, you see a bunch of diamonds and rubies under there, right? You don't tell the person that you buying the property from, hey, this property got all this stuff over here, let me get that. Nah, you keep it to yourself. You're like, ooh, you know what, I'm gonna go get that. And I ain't gonna tell him whatever he offered, whatever he say I need to pay for it, I'm gonna pay it. I ain't gonna tell him what I found though. You know what I'm saying? Read that thing again.
Again, the kingdom of heaven is like unto treasure hid in a field.
See, it's hid in a field. It's treasure hid in this field. They ain't even know. It look all deserted. The field look all dirty. You know what I'm saying? But you find this treasure. Go ahead.
The which when a man hath found, he hideth.
He hide it. He don't tell nobody he found this treasure. Go ahead.
And for joy thereof goeth and selleth all that he hath.
So he'll do anything he have to do in order to get that field that don't nobody think is valuable. You know what I'm saying? That's what the kingdom of heaven is like. That's what the truth is like. People see us out, purple shirts, fringes on. They like, this nigga's crazy, right? But we willing to sell all we had in order to do what this Bible say. Go ahead.
And buyeth that field.
Mm-hmm.
Again, the kingdom of heaven is like unto a merchant man seeking goodly pearls.
So he looking for a good pearl. Go ahead.
Who, when he had found one pearl of great price, went and sold all that he had and bought it.
So he was able to again, same scenario, right? He finds something that's of great value and he's willing to do and spend whatever it'll take to get that treasure. Now, the thing that happens, right, is that in the truth, right, we tend to get, what's the word? Lackadaisical. The truth seems to lose value, right, the longer we in it, right? We be like, it's not that valuable. When you first hear it, though, you're like, oh, man, I'm going to do everything it takes. But what happens as we get comfortable, right, the truth loses its value. You don't no longer see the value that the truth has, right? And what happens, right? What's happening, right? We got diminishing attendance on Tuesday. You know what I'm saying? I can't seem to figure that thing out. We got a coffee maker. Got a coffee maker. So maybe people come. We'll make coffee on Tuesdays or something. I don't know what to do. Like, I'm trying to get people to be encouraged to be here on Tuesdays, but we can't let the truth lose its value. Let's go to this. Give me Romans chapter 11 and verse 33. We're going to come back to Matthew again, but just stay with me. Romans 11, verse 33. Watch this.
The book of Romans, chapter 11 and verse 33.
So we're talking about that value, that great rich thing that he found in that field. Look at this, Romans 11:33. Go ahead.
Oh, the depth of the riches, both of the wisdom and knowledge of God.
That's what the riches are, right? So when Christ was saying the kingdom of heaven, right, is like a man that found the treasure in a field, or like a goodly pearl. He's talking about what? Read that again.
Oh, the depth of riches, both of the wisdom and knowledge of God.
That's what he's talking about, the wisdom and the knowledge of God. We got to see that thing as a great value. Come on.
How unsearchable are his judgments, and his ways past finding out.
Go ahead.
For who have known the mind of the Lord, or who have been his counselor, or who have first given to him, and it shall be recompense unto him again.
Here it come.
For of him,
So through this Bible, go ahead.
and through him, and to him are all things.
Or what?
Are all things.
Are all things. All the knowledge and information that you need in order to be successful in whatever it is you're doing in life, it's all in here. It's all in the scriptures. And I know saying that, people think, it's just the Bible, just a book about Jesus. Trust me, everything's in here. Everything. Let's look at, we're going to come back again. Go to Joel chapter 3, verse 5. So it say the riches of both wisdom and knowledge. Read Joel chapter 3 and 5.
The book of Joel, chapter 3 and verse 5. Because ye have taken my silver and my gold.
So what happened during the time of the Babylonian captivity, right, is they was coming into our sanctuaries, right, and they was stealing out our vessels, right, that we would use for sacrifice and stuff like that. But all that stuff was like gold and silver. It was valuable. You know what I'm saying? But we used it for, like, you know, making sacrifice and stuff like that. Read that again.
Because ye have taken my silver and my gold, and have carried into your temples my goodly pleasant things. The children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have ye sold unto the Grecians.
So read that one more time now. So we say they took our silver and our gold. Read that one more time.
Because ye have taken my silver and my gold.
So also what they took when they went into our sanctuaries was what? This Bible, right? When you read the history of the Maccabees, what does it say? It say they took our books and they put pictures of themselves in it. So those treasures is making reference also to our biblical information. Why is that important? Go back to Romans again, Romans 11. Let's read verse 12.
The book of Romans, chapter 11 and verse 12. Now, if the fall of them be the riches of the world.
Stop. The fall of us equals the riches of the world. So what does that mean? If we are in right alignment with God, what does that mean we're going to have? We're going to have riches, right? Be it financially, mentally, spiritually, right? Read that one more time.
Now, if the fall of them be the riches of the world.
The fall of us means what? With this Bible, right, the other nations was able to produce the lubrication necessary for the economy to run through our Bible. But we seem to think that the Bible is just like some book about Jesus. We can't understand that with this thing. Go back to Romans 11:33 on time. Read that.
The book of Romans, chapter 11 and verse 33. Oh, the depth of the riches, both of the wisdom and knowledge of God.
That's what this Bible, right? Say like you got like the lotto coming up like next month, right? But you already got the numbers for the lotto next month. That's what the Bible is like. We already know all the answers. We just got to go through here and learn how to sift through it and find the proper information that we need to whatever it might be. Read verse 35 again.
Verse 35.
36, I mean.
Verse 36. For of him and through him and to him are all things.
Are all things. So through the scriptures, we can learn all things. All right. Let's go back one more time. Matthew chapter 13, verse 44.
The book of Matthew, chapter 13 and verse 44. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like unto treasure hid in a field.
So it's like a lotto ticket that you got all the you got all the winning numbers to. All you got to do is be able to go through here, right, and start to sift out. Read that one time. Watch what's happening.
Again, the kingdom of heaven is like unto treasure hid in a field.
So say you got a field, right? And in that field, there's a gold mine, right? When you go into that field where the gold mine is, right, is the gold just laying about? How do you find the gold? What do you got to do? You got to go through, right? You got to get the bad rocks, the good rocks. You got to take them, you put them in the water, and you sift through, and you figure out what you need. You dig what I'm saying? Like, oh, this is gold in here. This is gold. You dig what I'm saying? That's what the treasure of heaven is like. Read that. That's what it said again. Read that one time.
Again, the kingdom of heaven is like unto treasure hid in a field.
So the treasure is hid in the field. You got to go out there and you got to do some digging. In the Bible, you got to do some mining. You dig what I'm saying? Go back to Romans 11, verse 12. One more time.
The book of Romans, chapter 11 and verse 12.
Uh-huh.
Now, if the fall of them be the riches of the world.
So what we can't seem to figure out how to do, right? And I this kind of been the thing I've been really harping on lately, is that the Bible is a discipline. You dig what I'm saying? You know how like when you learn in karate or kung fu or something, they call it like a discipline. You know what I'm saying? You got to learn the discipline of this art. You know what I'm saying? The Bible is the same way. It's a discipline. So if you learn the discipline, the art of how to use the Bible practically, read that one time.
Now, if the fall of them be the riches of the world.
So through us having discipline and discipline ourselves in the scriptures, we was rich in everything, right? You could be rich through, what I got down here, man, through marriage, right? Your faith could grow, right? You can learn history through the scriptures, practical use for day-to-day living, right? How to be successful in your job, whatever it may be. And I was thinking about that thing too. When I'm what I do, right? Electronic technician, you know what I'm saying? So what I would always do in my job is that I always kind of speak about this too. I would get a muse, right? I would find whoever at the job was the best, you know what I'm saying? And I would say, well, what is that person doing to be the top rated this or that? You know what I'm saying? And then once I figure out what they doing, I befriend that person, learn what they doing and how they are accomplishing the different things that they're accomplishing at work. Then I say, okay, let me pattern myself this way.
Expression, imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. Nobody understands that better than Kobe Bryant. From the time Kobe was 6 years old, growing up in Italy, his grandfather would send him videotapes of NBA legends in their prime. From studying that, Kobe's game benefited from the studying and then impersonating some of the best who ever played the game.
I was pretty much stuck at this height that I started seeing a lot of similarities in terms of physique and things like that, things that I could learn from him at that size and how he worked. I've literally learned so much from him. I just try to, do him proud and do Jerry proud and Oscar Robinson proud and guys came before me because I learned so much from them. So that's exactly how I look at it. When I train and when I work out or when I prepare, it's all in the name of the game. It's a lot bigger than me.
You know what I'm saying? But what we tend to do with the scriptures is that we tend to think like, I don't know. It's like we got to start to pattern ourselves after somebody. You know what I'm saying? But that don't mean that you stop there. You know what I'm saying? Because I always speak on it. Like I enjoyed Deacon Ithon, right? That's like my favorite teacher. You know what I'm saying? But at what point do I say, okay, these are the different things that I've learned through Deacon Ithon, or these are the different things I learned through Officer Gabar, or the different men that I've learned since I've been in the truth. At what point do I say, I got to build on that thing? You know what I'm saying? Through the different things I learned from them, now I have to be accountable for continuing my knowledge. Or am I just supposed every time I have a question, call this brother and just ask questions for every single thing? Like, nah, you can't. You got to be, at some point, you got to be able to say, read that again.
Now, if the fall of them be the riches of the world.
In the scriptures, there are the riches of the world. Whatever answer you need in order to accomplish whatever you're supposed to be accomplishing, it's in the Bible. What happens, right? This is kind of behind the scenes a little bit. So as you brothers are in the foundry right now, right, what happens is that we teach you guys the precepts, right? You learn the precepts. After you become a soldier, all I can do is speak for San Diego, right? The next thing is what? We have them read some things specifically, right? But what we are teaching you men to do is to sift through the scriptures for specific information, right? You'll read a specific book and we'll be like, just focus on how to be a good leader. You're reading a whole book, but you're sifting through it to pull out the information you need for you to be a good leader. You're sifting through this book, learning how these men took actions on this specific hurdle that they had to overcome. You know what I'm saying? That's the purpose of what we do when you men become soldiers. So you're supposed to now have the information of the precepts, have the information or the ability to now learn how to sift through the scriptures to find the things you need. And now you're supposed to be able to use that information practically in whatever your office may be. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? Is that making sense? Are you sure? Okay. Read Romans 11 and verse 36.
The book of Romans, chapter 11 and verse 36.
Uh-huh.
For of him and through him and to him are all things.
Mm-hmm.
To him be glory forever.
To whom be glory forever. So you can get glory if you go through these scriptures, right? And whatever your office may be, right? Learn and be looking for things to apply to that office. Does that make sense? Maybe not. Let's go to Proverbs chapter 2. Proverbs chapter 2. We'll look at verse 1.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 2 and verse 1.
Uh-huh.
My son, if thou wilt receive my words and hide my commandments with thee, so that thou incline thy ear unto wisdom and apply thy heart to understanding. Yea, if thou criest after knowledge and liftest up thy voice for understanding.
Here it comes.
If thou seekest her as silver.
So what does that mean? You got to seek her like silver, like we were just talking about. You got to go through the scriptures, right? Learn how to sift out the information that is necessary for whatever your office may be. Again, like I like to read the scriptures, right? I like history. So whenever I'm going through stuff, I tend to find historical application to whatever I'm looking at. You know what I'm saying? I'll be like, oh, this happened this year right here. Let me write down this date. Oh, this happened this year. Okay, this guy did this. This make a reference to this. You know what I'm saying? Back over here. You know what I'm saying? That's my thing. Not saying y'all got to look at the scriptures the same way. You can sift through the scriptures and find out whatever information you need for whatever your office may be. You know what I'm saying? It's not meant, you know what I'm saying? Like we said, we give you the precepts, right? We hammer those home. You know what I'm saying? For the first 12 months. That's all we letting y'all focus on, just learning the precepts. Then when you become a soldier, you start teaching you guys how to sift through the scriptures. And that thing is supposed to enable you now to be able to take the Bible and use it practically in whatever your office is. I feel like I keep repeating that. It needs to be repeated? Okay. Read that one more time. Where we at? Verse 4?
Verse 4.
Uh-huh.
If thou seekest her as silver.
You're seeking through the scriptures like it's silver in here. Like, dang, I gotta figure out how to organize the cleaning crew. I gotta figure out how to organize accomplishing a flyer mission over here. I gotta figure out how to organize, make sure we go out to camp and use proper discernment. We gotta do what? Read it one more time.
If thou seekest her as silver and searchest for her as for hid treasures, then shalt thou understand
Then
the
shalt
fear.
thou what?
Then shalt thou understand the fear of the Lord and find the knowledge of God.
You got to understand. Everything's in here. It's no reason for Officer JDL, right, to call soldier such and such and tell him exactly how to do everything step by step. If you are applying the scriptures and you are now a soldier, trust me, you got more information than you think you have. I'm not saying you shouldn't be communicating like, I think we should go this way or I think this is a better way to do things. You should be communicating that, but guess what? It shouldn't be the only ideas and the way to move the body should just be coming from me or from Ananiah. Like, that's not how it should be happening. Go ahead, Ananiah.
It's like, okay, what's your position at work?
I am the I don't know. I'm a lot of things.
Just
course
a
manager.
general.
Oh, I do electronic. I'm an electronic technician.
So everything you learn when it comes down to the knowledge of electronics, you just ask your teacher, huh?
I am the teacher.
I mean, when you was learning how to do that, all you do is ask your teacher.
Oh, nah, I had to put in some work.
That's what I'm saying. These books are here for a reason. It's like none of us knew how to do anything unless you really search it out. It's just not natural that we know what to do in certain circumstances. You guys need to take the effort and really dig into the scriptures.
Initiative is the word.
The initiative, what'd I say?
Effort.
Okay.
Take the initiative.
Take the initiative
Yes.
to apply these scriptures so that you can get that knowledge and do the job. And then you can come to me like, hey, give me something first. Don't be like trying to pick everything out of me. Give me something first so that I can say, okay, yeah, that sounds good, or no, let's not go that route. Maybe you need to research this a little bit better and then come back with a different angle.
Right. But that's what I'm saying. I'll say us as a whole, you know what I'm saying, and all of Israel, we tend to be stuck in this pattern where it's like if we don't feel like we got this brother or this sister step by step holding our hand through every part of the process, then we can't get it done. Like, nah, that ain't what's supposed to happen. You got the scriptures. You dig what I'm saying? Go out there and let's get some stuff accomplished. Come on, let's go. Where we at?
The book of Proverbs, chapter 2 and verse 6.
Let's look at verse 4 again.
Verse 4.
Uh-huh.
If thou seekest her as silver and searchest for her as for hid treasures, then shalt thou understand the fear of the Lord and find the knowledge of God. For the Lord giveth wisdom.
The Lord is going to do what?
Giveth wisdom.
So you think that the Lord can't help you, give you clarity on how to keep the school straight or how to, you know what I'm saying? Whatever it is, everything is in here. It just, at the end of the day, it comes back to discipline. And I say this all the time, every decision that I try to make up here, you know what I'm saying, through, you know, the captains and the deacons over me, I pray, you know what I'm saying? I ask God for wisdom, whatever decision I'm making, you know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Out of his mouth cometh knowledge and understanding.
Read that again.
Out of his mouth.
Verse 6.
Verse 6. For the Lord giveth wisdom.
The Lord is going to give you wisdom. You got the precepts, right? We have now taught you soldiers how to sift through the scriptures. Go ahead.
Out of his mouth cometh knowledge and understanding.
Out of his mouth. So through the scriptures, you're going to get knowledge and understanding on how to accomplish whatever your task may be. It's not rocket science. It's not rocket science. You know what I'm saying? Again, I don't know. Was somebody with us when we was trying to figure out city codes and all these different things we had to do to get to school?
Absolutely not. I know nothing about city codes.
We didn't know nothing.
But we had to do the research.
We had to do who do we call? We call Captain such and such?
Well, we got insight of what we needed to do.
Right.
Like, okay, you need to make sure that you're up to code.
Right.
You need to make sure that you're in the right area.
Right.
And then we didn't say, okay, what area is that?
Yeah, exactly.
How do we find that code?
Yeah.
You know, no. You get the general information, then you run with it.
Then you run. Right. Yeah.
That was a trick question.
That was a trick question. But nah, I appreciate you. So, again, going back to read that scripture one more time.
For the Lord giveth wisdom. Out of his mouth cometh knowledge and understanding.
So, again, going back to Tuesday class, I kind of wanted to harp on that a little bit, right? Before y'all was here, right, before we was here at this building, you think I'm saying? What I had to do, Amzie was there, Bez was there, right? What we had to do in order to seek knowledge, right? We had to drive to L.A. or to Vegas. You think I'm saying? That was the only place. Because we didn't know nothing. We had to drive 2-3 hours away in traffic, damn near falling asleep at the wheel. You know what I'm saying? That's what we had to do. Bez was there, right? We had to do that stuff. But now the school is right around the corner. It's empty on Tuesday. I can't understand it. The treasure of it, you know what I'm saying, is diminished. Like, we don't see it as a treasure anymore. We don't see the knowledge that's here as useful anymore. Like, I'm sleepy. I had to work today.
Shalom. This is Bishop Nathaniel of Israel United in Christ. Please subscribe to our YouTube channels. Stay up to date with our latest events, music, and classroom lessons. IUIC plans to continue visiting different countries where this gospel has not been preached before. IUIC needs your help in pushing this truth. So join us. Subscribe to our Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and podcast, and stay up to date with us. For more information, please visit www.israelunite.org.